All right, hello everybody. This is James Hogan with OptionVue. We're going to get started here on our OptionVue essentials for today. I'm going to cover, some getting started points on OptionVue. Just might be a review for some. I'm going to show you some of my favorite features, and just kind of a nice walkthrough on, if you have a trial or just getting started with OptionVue, it'll give you a nice insight and a nice jump start on getting familiar with some of the settings and how to analyze some trades. So I'm going to go ahead and first what I really wanted to do is I wanted to take you to OptionVue, to our website here, first of all, and just give you a quick kind of reference guide on where to go for certain things here. Let me first make sure I'm sharing my desktop with you guys. Okay, so now you should be able to see my desktop coming up here, and you'll see my option view here. Okay, let me first jump over to our website, OptionVue.com. Okay, this is this pink section in the middle here next to the Mustang. You'll see our webinar schedules. You can come on here and see the calendar of what's coming up. This button right here will take you to our archived recordings. I'll click on that real quick, and you'll be able to see all of our essentials. Everyone that has done an essential here, you can see the list of webcasts that they've done, and then there's some short how-tos here that Jeremy in Tech Support has done, and then you have our OptionVue 7 tutorial. So this is a great resource for watching more of these videos. Let me go back to our website here. The other thing, free trial, of course, you can sign up there. We do have a new updated store site. If you click on this store button underneath our phone number, you can see our educational products. All the OptionVue products are all listed there as well. Under this What's New tab is kind of a nice place to go for everything that's been done to OptionVue recently, upgrades, new features, and whatnot. Upcoming events. The other thing to remember is to go to the OptionVue newsletter. This is a great resource. Some great articles in here about OptionVue, trading strategies, some of our indicators. So definitely come in here and check out some of these articles. It's a great resource to check out there. Education is going to take you to our mentoring program, and the educational products we offer is also a link there to discoveroptions.com. You can check that out there as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you. Just the new store button is really updated recently. One more thing I wanted to show you also, if you're ever curious about the VXX trading system that we offer, this link here takes you to our VXX trading page and any information you could possibly want. Very, very detailed articles and videos here for you to check out about the VXX trading system. And again, that was with this link right here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get back over to OptionVue, and we'll get going on this. I will keep my checking the chat every once in a while here, so if you have any questions as I go, just go ahead and type a chat in the chat box over there. When you first start out with OptionVue, OptionVue is preloaded with some symbols over here, which you can immediately go ahead and customize if you want, or get rid of them as you see fit. What you would do is you can actually left-click to highlight a symbol here, and you can actually hit the delete key on your keyboard, which is over kind of next to the backspace, or you can hit the insert button on the keyboard. That will give you a blank cell, and then you can simply type in a symbol, hit enter, and it will populate for you there. Another way to do that, some people on Macs might want to go up to this edit button up here, and the same thing applies where you can insert a row or delete a row. Okay. Also, OptionVue is pretty Excel friendly, so if you had a watch list or a symbol list in Excel, you could actually highlight that list, right-click, copy it, and then paste the symbols, and the symbols would populate wherever you are highlighted at in the quotes display here. Okay. I've created some title bars here, some groups, and to do that, I'm going to left-click on this so you can see how It is titled. All you need to do is type in a # and then the name of the group, the title of the group, and it will then create this group for you here. So I have a futures watch list down here that I just created recently, and then you can go ahead, #, type in what you want the name of that group to be, and it will then separate these groups. This is kind of a nice feature for survey or survey or trade finder. You can create groups for and run those analysis tools for that specific group. Okay, so that's why it's kind of nice to have some grouping here. You can also have multiple tabs down at the bottom here. Okay, so this is kind of my start page here, and then I can click over to my futures tab, where I have my futures listed by the sectors they're in. I have ETF sectors. I also have the VXX tools. Told you where to find information about that, and then I have some different things here, currencies. And the way to create a new tab is when you initially get OptionVue, you'll have this main tab down here. Okay, and you can right-click on that main tab. You can insert a tab, delete a tab, rename one. Insert would allow you to create a new tab. You can title it whatever you want to. Hit enter, and then my new tab is here. So, for instance, you wanted to jump over to perhaps, a watch list or however you want to have it organized, you're able to do that. You can click on it, and it's blank, ready for you to populate with whatever symbols you want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that tab, and I'm back in my main tab here. Okay, you can also customize these column headings. Everything when you get OptionVue is defaulted just to a standard format that it comes with, but you're able to extremely customize OptionVue. And to do that, you can, again, very similar to adding symbols here, you can left-click, hit the Insert button on your keyboard, and it will create a blank column for you, which you can then right-click on, and you can select what parameter you want to have that column define. Okay. Again, you can highlight that column at the top there and then delete it, and it will get removed for you. You can also go to the edit, same thing here, where it's add a column or delete, insert a column, or which I'll do again. You can do it that way, or you can hit the delete button on your keyboard, and it'll get rid of it or insert it as well. Okay. The news column here I use kind of often. It's kind of a neat feature, and you can set this up in preferences, and this will actually take you to whatever news site, and it'll do a query for that symbol. For instance, if I clicked on the Qs right here, it's going to pop up with Yahoo looking up the symbol for Qs right here. Actually, I was highlighted on Caterpillar. That's why I pulled this up. Okay. See, whatever you're highlighted on is where the news is going to come up there. So, and then you can change that as you please. One of the column headings we have here is earnings date. OptionVue goes out and we'll find the earnings next earnings date for if anything's got earnings coming out. BMO means before market opens or after the market closes here. Okay. When you first start out with OptionVue, it's going to say like a sample account or account 1 at the top here. Whenever you want to create an account, and you can have an unlimited number of accounts in OptionVue for back testing. For instance, I'm going to click on this and I'll show you my list of accounts I have. Demo accounts, I have Options Express accounts here, my Trade Monster account, my TOS account, and then other various back testing things I've done or things I want to keep track of. It's really nice to be able to create and access all these accounts very easily. You can also access the accounts that you create via the symbols you'll see next to the O, S, and F that you'll see next to the symbols here. The O stands for an option position, S stands for a stock position, F will stand for a futures position. And what you could do is you could basically right-click on that symbol, and it'll show you that I've got a futures contract that I'm paper trading in a futures paper trading account that I created and titled it this. And then you can just left click on that, and now you are actually in that account. So now if I went into an options chain or anything I did is going to be reflected in this account. Okay. If I click on this O here, it's going to show you that I have an account titled Wendell. I have positions in those accounts. Okay, I have futures positions in this account. So it's easily to navigate through if you want to keep separate different trades separate. Okay, I have an SLV position in an Options Express account. I have a Men's Warehouse Options position in my Trade Monster account. So, and then what you can also do is you can create what's called a super account in OptionVue. And what that will allow you to do is if you have multiple accounts, brokerage accounts, and you want to look at all of your positions and kind of everything together, you can create a super account, and it'll allow you to do some portfolio analysis in that super account. So let me get back to one of the test accounts I was using here. And to create a new account, you would go to Info. That's the Info button right here. Okay, and you would simply click on New Account. Okay, this is how you would make it a super account if you wanted to do that. And basically what you would really do is you'd have a number of accounts already set up in OptionVue to represent the other accounts that you wanted to have in a super account, and then you would make that a super account and have that super account pull in the information from the other accounts you already created. But in this add a new account, you would just simply give it a title, hit OK. It's going to ask you when you want this account to have started here. Important for back testing if you want to go back and, we've saved option data going back to January 2001. So you could actually start a back test in 2001 if you wanted to and give it that starting date. And say you started with, whatever capital you wanted to in this account, and hit OK. New account is started. You can then go ahead and start back testing with this account. You can even set up commissions if you want to, and it'll be strictly reflected in this account. So if you go to a different account, you could have securities and commissions and futures commissions set up differently for those accounts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK out of here, and you can see now I'm in this new account. I can click on my T-log, and you'll see that these buttons up here are going to be all related to accounts in particular. Info will give you details about setting up an account or commissions, how you have that defined for that particular account. The T-log stands for transaction log. I'm going to click on this, and you can see that, okay, January 1st, 2001, I put in a deposit of $100,000, and any transactions that you do as you're back testing are going to come up here. OptionVue, when you are back testing, is going to think that it's actually that date and time, and it's going to record your trades with that date as you step through time. And I'll touch on that briefly in a little bit here. So that's what the transaction log does. And then the status button here is going to tell you of all your positions. It's going to tell you your buying power, your cash, your portfolio delta, which is kind of nice to have if you have a number of different accounts out there with different brokerages and you create a super account. You're able to see your entire portfolio's delta, portfolio theta, and it'll even keep track of your realized, unrealized gains. Okay, and that's in status. That's kind of keeping an eye on where you're at right now. The reports button is really nice because what this will do is if you are doing some back testing or just want to see during a certain period of time how you've done with your trading, you're able to come in here and see these reports. And you can switch between all these reports. For instance, let's go ahead and look at something I did a while back. A back test. This is something I did a while back here. I was testing the weeklies in Apple and around the time they first came out. And it's going to show you, this is something I did, actually went into BackTrader and stepped through time and put these trades on. And you can do it very specifically for a date. I think I did this for a year, and as you can see, I did it from looks like I started this one out in, actually I switched account. I want to go to my Apple one. Okay. This one I started doing in March of 2011, right around when the Apple Weeklies came out. I believe I did it until March of 2012. And you can scroll down here and see. It's going to show you the total you paid in commissions for whatever I had set up for that account, your total gain and loss. You can also go back and see a performance graph then. Okay. I have it going through December 13th here, 2013. I actually only did this until 2012 in March, which is why you have this long straight line here. Performance analysis, this is kind of nice because you're able to come in here and see what your total gains, losses, total number of the period that I'm covering here in my trades, how many trades, percent winners. So it gives you a lot of detailed information about that back test. And then in essence what you could do is you could go back in time, title this Vertical Credit Apple Weeklies, part 2, and you can go back, change maybe one of the variables you use in your trading rules, and put it up against the one you did before. So a real nice way to keep track and to see how different strategies can perform. And you can definitely use BackTrader to do that. So that is the reports here and status. I'll show you something else here about status in a bit, but let's go ahead and jump into an options chain. So I kind of went into how to create an account. The transaction log is going to record your transactions, which in turn is going to give information to the status window to show you where your overall account is as far as portfolio, theta, delta, what's your buying power currently, gain, losses, and then it will create nice reports for you over a period of time. Okay. So now let's just close this one, and we're going to go back into the matrix, and let's just say I want to look at a Caterpillar options chain. Two ways to do this. You can left click, make sure the symbol's highlighted, and you can highlight them. Click on the matrix button, or double clicking on the symbol is going to do the exact same thing and pull up an options chain here. Okay. Now, what is defined in the options chain and how it's displayed is an important thing that you're going to want to look at setting to your preferences, because when it comes to you via trial, there are some default settings that it's not going to look like this. So before we do that, go into an options chain and explore that a little further. Let's go up here and look at some preferences really quick. We'll go up to View, and we'll go to Default Models is the first important setting to take a look at here. And what I always tell people is slippage is set to hit bid-ask. That means if you're looking to buy something, OptionVue, the default setting is hit bid-ask. That means if you put an order in to buy and you convert the trade in OptionVue, with this slippage setting, you're going to get filled at the ask. If you're looking to sell, you're going to get filled at the bid. Not something you're really going to, not the way you're really going to trade. I set mine to moderate. Basically, that's saying is that I'm going to want to analyze my trades with a little bit of slippage, because you're definitely going to try to work in order to get the best fill you can. So I have mine set to moderate. Some people want pure analysis and have no slippage on, but that's my recommendation is turn to moderate. Down here, just as a reference, the market price that you'll see in our options chains are just a smooth average between the bid and the ask. Okay, and that's the default setting there. So the only default on the default models you want to change, I recommend the slippage here. Other setting we're going to take a look at, again, we're going to go View at the top, and this time we're going to go to Auto Strike. And this is really important because when you pull up an options chain, these are not set to this. You'll want to change, and generally most traders want to trade the out of the money. So I always recommend changing OTM, out of the money extent, to large for the calls and the puts. I have my in the money set to large, not really necessary if you don't trade that way. I like to see a large range when I open up an options chain. That's why I have them set this way. But this is where you're going to set the default. So when you open any options chain, OptionVue looks at where the at-the-money is right now, and it creates a range around the at-the-money depending on these settings here. Okay. Strike intervals, I want all the strikes to come up automatically. And if weeklies are available, I want to see them also. Okay. These are all things you can come in here and set yourself. This is just a default for a general, all the option chains that you're going to open up. If there are a couple underlines that you trade specifically that you don't want to see this information for, I'll show you how to define that specifically per asset, because you can do that if you want to. Okay, so when you get OptionVue, the weeklies are not included if available. So if you are interested in trading weeklies, getting very popular, you're going to want to come in here and make sure you check this off here. And finally, we're going to go up to View again for one more default setting. That's the default matrix format. This is my format that I like to see. I like to see a 1x5. When you get OptionVue, you'll see a 1x3. Most importantly is to have this trade in its existing position. Trade is for analysis. Existing position is once you put the trade on and want to track it, you'll be able to see it in its existing position setting here, which is why this is here. Once you have this set up the way you want, you would set default 1. I do have a set default 2. I'll show you what that is, and I'm going to hit get default 2, so it's going to display the settings that I have set for this. And I have last bid ask, volume, and open interest, just some details about that strike and that particular option and that contract. So I can see right away, what the spread is, how much volume and open interest there is in this particular option, and then what it traded at lastly. Okay. And I believe I just made a mistake on that and set that as my default. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to change it back real quick. Actually, I want this to be MIV. MIV is the volatility, which is a very important one to have here. It is actually the midpoint between the bid and the ask IV. Okay, there's a lot of parameters here that you can select, and I'll show you some of them when we get over to the quotes display. Okay, so let's go and do an options chain here, and we're going to pull up a Caterpillar. Now, let's say, for instance, let me go over some details here first. We have the calls on the top and the puts on the bottom. That's why you see the C and the P's down here. This little arrow is the at the money right now. Actuals, this means the underline, and you have the options here. If you were long a particular number of shares of the underline, you'll see the legend over here. Okay, this 84.41 represents what Caterpillar traded at last. This was the high, this was the low, and this is the change on the day. This trade in an existing position, it can be seen right here when I click on this blank field here. So let's say I was long 100 shares of Caterpillar. Let me change the account so I don't change anything in my Apple weeklies back test. So let's say I was long 100 shares here. Okay, I haven't done anything with this. This is in the trade field, so I'm just doing this for analysis purposes. It's not in my T-log yet. Okay. If you let me go ahead and do that. Go to that account that I created here. What do they call it? Title. I think that's what I called it. Yep, there's the one I created just now. So I just want to start with a blank account for you guys to look at here. So let's say I have 100 shares. I wanted to, let's say I was long that 100 shares. Okay. I wanted to now record that. I'm going to go ahead and hit Convert Trade. Okay. Now it is in the existing position. Okay, I can click on the T-log here, and you'll see there it is right there. Okay, not a big deal if you actually bought this on November. You can just change that date and change the actual price you got filled at. Okay, so let's say you got this at 75. Okay, and you could adjust that if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm along 100 shares there, and that is how you would put in if you're long an underlying stock or futures contract. You would put it up here. Same thing applies down here with the options. Across the top here, you're going to see weekly, 1, 30 days left to expiration, and the expiration date is January 4th. Okay, this is the weekly option. Now the January monthly contract, 44 days left, expires January 18th. So you can see what these numbers and months at the top are representing. This L right here, this is a leap. This is the January leap with 408 days left to expiration. Okay, if you wanted to define this matrix for Caterpillar independently so that it's customized instead of the default settings you had set up before, you can always click on this define button right here, and you can uncheck. Maybe I don't want weeklies and leaps for this one. Okay, and I only want to display 1-point strikes instead of the half-point strikes that are coming up here. Hit apply, say OK. You'll see now it's only showing up something strange. It's not showing the weeklies or the leaps anymore. Let me click on define again, and let me display all the intervals again here. I might have to close and reopen that. And then it will pull in and make the corrections. Once you go in there, change the definitions, often you'll close the matrix and pull it back in, so it resets it and pulls in fresh data for you. Okay. So if you were to wanted to analyze a position, let's say I was long 100 Caterpillars here, and I wanted to do some kind of a covered call. Let's say I wanted to go out here in January, and I wanted to sell some 90s against my shares that I have right now, Caterpillar. And you can see now, let me delete this. I'm just highlighting this, and I'm deleting it. Okay, and you're going to see this is the summary of being long this 100 shares right now. My requirements, the current value, my gain loss. I have a gain because I put it in that I got it at last month for 75, and it's at 84.41 now. Okay. So if I wanted to put something, this is now in the existing positions. So now if I want to put something in the trade column, I'm going to sell one against that. Now it's going to show me my existing position. It's going to show me what my total position here is going to look like after I do this trade. So with both of them combined. Okay. So what you can do then is you can click on this E, T, and B. E means existing position. T means trade, that it's going to be anything in the trade column. And B is both together. So let me first analyze my existing position, which is existing, which is just being long the Caterpillar. I can click on this Analyze button. It's going to show me this graphically here. Okay. Now I can click on the T button, and it's going to show me just the trade. I'm going to analyze this trade. Okay. That's if I sold this naked right here. Okay. Now I'm going to look at both combined, and now you can analyze what this is going to look like. Okay. And it saves up to 5 of the things that we looked at together here. So I'm going to go back. And you can see that it's saving the chart, the risk graphs that I'm pulling up here. Okay. And then you can start superimposing things over each other if you want to. And then this button right here will delete these. So we'll get into the graphic analysis in 1 second here. So this is what it looks like. And then if I hit this Convert Trade button, we're going to watch what's going to happen. This is going to move over to the existing position column here. And now it's created a record of this. I can now go to my T-log. You're going to see that I'm long this 100 shares from back on November, and that today I sold this call 76 cents. Okay, and now if we were in back trader mode and we were back testing, you were tracking this, this is going to keep an eye on where your position is throughout the day. Okay. I want to talk about some of the parameters here real quick before we go into the graphic analysis, but you can change any of these on the fly if you want to. Okay. As I told you before about setting the defaults, you'll see this little tiny M123 here. Okay, this is my default 1. This is my default 2. Remember the last bid asked, volume, and open interest. Okay. Or you can change them by right-clicking on one of these column headings at the top here. Okay, you can see what the theoretical price is. Okay. You can see what the original price you paid for it is. Okay, I paid 76 cents for this. Okay, let's go back to market price for that. You can look at what the Greeks are for that particular option. Okay, what's your theta? What's your delta? Delta is a very popular column heading here. What is the probability of this strike finishing in the money? Okay, this is a newer feature that came out this year, probability of touching. What's the probability that this strike is going to be touched by January 18th? And when you do this probability of touching, you'll see this PT button that pops up here, because it's going to run a Monte Carlo-based probability calculator when I touch this button, and it's going to give you the probability of any of these strikes being touched by January 18th. Okay. One of my favorites is percent over or undervalued. That's what this means, percent overvalued, undervalued, based on the modeling and theoretical pricing. It's going to show you that right now this is a percent undervalued. This is 3% overvalued right now. Okay, like to sell things that are overvalued and buy things that are undervalued. So some very cool parameters you can check out here in OptionVue. Okay. And if there was you came up with a setting that you liked while changing these columns up here, you could always save them here. This M button means memorize whatever you have going on right here, and then hit 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to hit memorize 3, and now we can see this is my original, my number 1 setting. Here's my number 2 setting, and here's now my new number 3 setting. Okay. Let's go ahead and analyze this position again. I want to make sure I'm looking at analyzing the whole position. Okay. And we have the underlying price of Caterpillar at the bottom here. Okay. You have profit and loss on the y-axis here. Okay. This is showing dollars. This is in terms of yield over here. Okay. These lines are timelines. Okay. You'll see my legend over here, and defaulted OptionVue comes with T+ lines, which means today plus however many days in the future. I have mine set to date, and you can change a lot of preferences up in File up here, up the upper left-hand corner, and go to Preferences, and right here is where you will create whether you want dates displayed or the T+N lines here. I was talking about this before. This is where you can go and change your news site. If maybe you wanted to have MarketWatch or you wanted to have Yahoo is the default, but this is where you would change that. Okay, and you can change colors around and things like that. Fonts, popular one is font size. Originally, it'll come with the smallest font. You can change it to 8 points so that you can better see a lot of the things in the graphic analysis especially. Okay. So these lines represent timelines out here. So based on this position I have, the black dot is showing where I'm at right now. Okay, all these lines are based on OptionVue's modeling. Our variable model that we're using right now and the theoretical prices. Okay, this is the we call this the wand that goes right through the black dot, and you can left click on this wand, the base of it here, and left clicking and holding it down. And it's going to show you what I'm at 84.42 underlying price. It shows you my P&L right now, all my Greeks, and I can drag this to the left or right, so it'll show you where you'll be at theoretically at any point along the x-axis here. Okay, and then that's what these numbers underneath each underlying price, $62. If Caterpillar goes to $62, my P&L is going to be down $12.24, and it shows you my Greeks here as well. And remember, we're looking at today. Okay, if I click on 12.27, which is the second line here, okay, and you'll see it's highlighted there, and there's a little asterisk so that we know that we're looking at that date and time. You're going to see that all these things are going to change here. Okay, so where I'm at right now, I would be where my Greeks are going to be and where my P&L is going to be. Okay, and then the solid line is representing expiration of the call that I sold. Okay, you can change these dates if you want to. I just right-clicked in this little legend box here, and you can change these dates to be whatever you want to, and you can have up to 5 different dates, 5 different lines. Okay, you can also change this to yield if you like seeing things in terms of yield instead. So now across here you're seeing yield instead of P&L, and if I click on the wand here, it's going to show me my yield versus my profit and loss. So it's all a matter of what kind of a preference you prefer there, whether you like seeing the actual dates, T plus numbers, or P&L versus yield. I'm going to go ahead and click on this D button in the lower right-hand corner here, and I'm actually in a market maker style of analysis. Let me change this preference. That's one of the features that's in our Pro version. You have a market maker style of analysis or regular style, which just comes with the standard edition. So we're going to look at the detailed analysis here, and it's kind of another way to look at another interpretation of the risk graph, basically. So what you can do is you can actually put in your specific date you want in here. You can change the underlying price. You can change the volatility. This is OptionVue showing what we got in at, and OptionVue is going to look at what you're going to be able to get out at. The at price is going to take into account the slippage you have set up for. So if I was to get out of this trade, let's just put in January 10th here. Okay, and let's say I was going to get out at this trade, and the price of the underlying went down to 79. Hit enter, and you're going to see that it's going to show me my gain and loss. Okay, over here. So this is just another way to come in here and be able to plug in some numbers and see what at different points in time and see what OptionVue is going to give you as far as gain loss. Okay. Let's talk about some of these features over here on the left. Okay, if you want to move to the left or to the right, you could use this slider bar here to move to the left or the right. This is your zoom bar to zoom in or zoom out. Okay. If you want to change the intervals at the bottom here, you can right-click anywhere in the graph, right-click, recenter the graph, and change your intervals to whatever you want them to be. Okay. These lines down here are representing standard deviations. Okay, and they're going to change with time. They're going to get larger as you give the trade more time. Okay, first standard deviation, and then the turquoise line down there is going to be second standard deviation. Okay. And those standard deviations have a lot to do with our probability of profit calculations. because I said that I put this position on in November, and I'm long the underlying, and Caterpillar is already at 84, 85, I'm profitable. So based on the time that I'm giving this trade to work, it's showing me that I have a 98% probability of profit, because if you look at this, where I'm at in the profit zone versus where the money is right now, where the black dot is right now, I'm pretty much centered in I'm in a very good position with the way this risk graph looks. Okay. If you wanted to show the break-even points, okay, you don't have to have that checked off if you don't want to, but I do. Check it off. This dashed line here represents my break-even point. Okay, so if the underlying moved, and I'm actually on January 7th is my highlighted date now. If on January 7th I was at 74.25, 12% away from where I'm at right now, down, that'd be my break-even level. Okay. You see this black solid line right here? That's because there's a target set up here for some reason. I'm going to click on this target here, and you can see that, yep, I did have a target here set up from looking at something before. So I'm going to go ahead and erase my target, and you can see that disappears. But you can set up your targets if you want to. If you have a particular target in mind, you can set that up via this target button, or you can actually click on a price chart and create a target. Okay, and I'll show you that feature really quick here. I'm just going to click on a price chart. Okay, here's my Caterpillar price chart. Looks like I have candlesticks selected. I have an overlay of Bollinger Bands going on. But let's just go to a basic price chart here. And let's say I wanted to create a target. This is the target button in the price chart. And of course, this is daily, weekly, monthly. We're looking at a daily chart right now. And this will allow you to zoom in a little bit here. And I want to create a little target. I'm going to click on that bullseye button there. And you can see that it pulls up a target box, and it gives you the price range and the date range right away there. Okay. And let's say, you know, I'm a little bit bullish this. I can drag it out away from I'm just clicking and dragging it over so I can bring out some future dates here. Okay. And you can make this as large as you want to, wide as you want to. Okay, see, and it's creating this range over here. Okay, I'm going to create a little bit narrower one so that it doesn't completely engulf our graphic analysis. I'm going to go back to my matrix. Okay, I'm going to go back to Analyze. Matrix is options chain. I'm going to go to Analyze here, and there's the target I created. Okay. If you want to look at the current bell curve, okay, let me click on a different line here. You can't click on the expiration line. That's an important thing to know. When you click on the expiration line here, and it's important to know that when you're looking at probability of profits, that the time is going to have a big effect on it. Okay. Everything's showing 100% right now because, again, I put this trade on and we're already profitable on this trade. We'll look at another trade here. Let's go into a different underline entirely. We'll go into price line. Okay. Let's go ahead and open an options chain for price line. And let's look at a calendar spread. Let's just say there's 9 days left in this weekly. So I'm going to sell this one, and I'm going to sell it against the December. Okay, just a horizontal at the money. I'm going to analyze this. Okay, and I'm going to click on. Now you can see that based on this right now, in 7 days, there's 75% probability of profit on this one. And then you can show you can see the standard deviation is getting wider and wider here. Okay. If I wanted to look at a price chart here, okay, showing price line way up at the top here, and that was my target button. To the button right to the right of that, it's going to give me profit zones here. Okay, there's my profit zones from that calendar I put on. You can see this the timeline where it expires, and this green is where I'm going to be profitable. So if Priceline stays within this little range here, within the 9 days, I'm going to be in a profitable trade. Okay. One more thing, let's go ahead and look at the price chart again on this. We can overlay volatility if we want to on these. We have volatility charts, and the volatility charts are very popular in OptionVue because this is where we pull a lot of our information to determine whether an underlying has overvalued, chronically overvalued options, whether they're currently overvalued, undervalued. Very important factors when you're putting on premium collecting strategies or delta neutral strategies, things like that. Okay, so the blue line represents the implied volatility, which is what the options are telling us. The red is statistical or historical volatility. That's how much the underlying is moving right now. Okay, if you have statistical trending down, the red line trending down, it means that the underlying is more range bound, a smaller range. It's not moving that much. When you have a spike in statistical volatility, you'll see you've got a lot of movement going on in the underlying. As you can see coming up here, you have a big 2-day move, a couple days, and a big move day, large down day. So you have a lot of movement in the underlying, so that's going to create statistical volatility to increase. Okay, you can definitely see when earnings comes out for Priceline, because that always creates a lot of volatility in the options, and you'll see these spikes, and then you'll see right here the crush in the volatility that happens after the announcement comes out. Okay, earnings are coming out, it's announced, boom, big drop in the volatility of the options. Okay, you can also come down here and you can click on this V button, lower left-hand corner, and that's going to show you the ranges, the averages of the implied or statistical over different time ranges here. So over 3 weeks, 6 weeks, up to 6 years here, you can see that Priceline recently does not look to be extremely overvalued, but over the long run, it looks like it has been. 1.5 to 6 years, it's been overvalued. Okay. These numbers up here, dollar volume of options traded daily. Okay, that's not $26,000. It's going to be $26 million in dollar volume options traded every day. Might even be more than that. It's usually in terms of thousands. No, that sounds like it's right there. SV, this is saying statistical volatility. What percentile is it in right now? Okay, it's showing us that statistical volatility is in the 2 percentile right now, as is IV. That means over the life of my chart that I have defined here, let's go back here and see how far I go back to 2005. Since 2005, you can see that IV and SV are extremely low relative to where they've been over the history of this chart that I have here. Okay, so implied volatility and statistical volatility are really low right now in Priceline. Okay. Okay, so we've been going for about 50 minutes now, and I could go on for many more hours about OptionVue. It's extremely robust, and all I covered was the matrix, the quotes display, entering a trade, how to look at the T-log status and reports. Okay, everything, if you were back testing, is going to work exactly the same way, because OptionVue thinks that it's entirely that date and time. Is you would go up to NetView up here next to Help, go into BackTrader, keep this back trader window open whenever you're using it as a time machine, and you would put this date in. Let me just close this matrix and go ahead and put a date in here. I'm going to put in January 15th, 2013 and hit start, and OptionVue, watch all these prices change, and now it is going to be January 15th at the close, 15:30 on back almost a year ago here. I can double click on price line, enter some trades, step through time. S moves you by half an hour in either direction. D moves by day. Hit convert trade. Once you put a trade on, it then goes to the T-long. Then you can step through time and you can back test this way. I could go and do a whole another essentials about back testing, but I just wanted to give you an update on how to do that. But we do in the essentials on our website where I showed you before. You can go on there. Ken Dole did a couple essentials, a little series there on back testing. You can check that out. It'll give you some nice insight to back testing if that's what you're looking to do. I'm just going to check my chat box here and see if anybody's got any questions for me. And if there's not, I will wrap it up. You can always reach me at james@optionvue.com. You can email me there. You can call us here at 800-733-6610. Happy to do personalized walkthroughs. Everybody's looking to get something different out of OptionVue for their options trading. I didn't even talk about the scanning tools, but you'll see some of our essentials are specifically about the scanning tools, the Trade Finder, the Survey, and the OpScan. Okay. All right. Thanks all for attending the essentials here, and hope to see you next time.